We did not talk about the Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington thing.
Oh my God.
Could have started the show with that instead of asking you if my fucking beard is nice.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go first and then I'm going to let
you go. You go, girl. All right.
So there's many sides to how I reacted to this. There's my professional side that was like, gentlemen, you shouldn't do this. You're professional athletes. Then there was the other side of me that was like, you won't talk about nobody's kids. Then there was another side of me that was like, ha, 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 ha. And then ultimately I came to the decision. It's like, yeah, he called Masvidal a deadbeat dad. And Masvidal, this is very on brand for him. He's from the streets. Like, there's only so much that he's going to take from you without retaliating. You know that's like on brand for him. But on the other side, sucker punching somebody while they're like dipping their chips into guacamole is not.
Is that what went down? Is that what went down? It was a sucker punch?
That is what I heard. I don't know for a fact, but it appears that he came out of nowhere, sucker punched him, and he had a mask and a hood on.
Now,
and then, yeah.
Now listen, for me, it comes down to this. This is what I've been thinking about it. And the people are like, yeah, but he had 25 minutes to do what he wanted with him, and he didn't get it done. So this is like a punk move. That's what people are saying. But like, this is the thing with the trash talk. I don't know what was said. If it's just that he's a deadbeat dad, if that's what he said, that's not really attacking the kids. I don't know. I don't know what he said, but I'm gonna say it like this. When you do, if he did say something about his kids, that's what Jorge Masvidal is saying. He said he mentioned his kids. So if that is the case, then Colby's making it something other than just a sporting event.
Yeah, it's not a sport then. You cross the line.
It's not just about a code of respect, of decency. It's about involving people that are not in, they're not going to be hashing it out in the cage. And it's about taking it too far to the point where, all right, now it's an on-site situation because you're being extremely disrespectful, and not only to me, but to my loved ones. And it's super low class, and you're going to be dealt with one way or the other. So that might be and this is another thing. Rational people might hear what I'm saying and be like, dude, that's kind of barbaric and not very mature or whatever it is. I don't expect you to understand what I'm saying. Not you. I'm saying in general.
No, I understand.
I'm also explaining that you're dealing with people that practice and are skilled in violence, and they practice looking. There's a certain type of person that fights in the cage, that fights in MMA, and there's a couple of type of people. But my point is, if you're really a fighter, if you're in it for the right reasons, if you're just in it, you're a real fighter. And you have a code, and I don't want to. When I throw around words like respect or even honor, it might sound like I'm getting too macho or whatever it is. But those are real things to real people. You know what I mean? They're real things. So when you cross a line like that, start talking about somebody's family, if that is the case, like I said, I don't know exactly what he said about his kids, but if that is the case, then you get whatever's coming for you. If you talk about somebody's religion or family. So, I mean, listen, for instance, Habib, he hashed it out in the cage. He beat him. He made him say uncle. It still was not enough. He had something still in him because of how far Conor took it. So there was stuff that was, no, this is it. That's my payoff. Or you just get and he won. He was the victor. So who knows that if Jorge would have got a decision on him or beat him, who knows he's still not showing up there and hitting him. You know what I mean? It may not because he's not. I don't think he's doing it because he's a sore loser. He's doing it because the other guy went too far, in his opinion, and said personal shit. So I know that was kind of a ramble, but whatever.
No, I completely get where you're coming from. It's like, how far is too far, and how far is crossing the line without consequences when you're saying something about someone's family. And, I get it. I do get it. So it's hard to say as somebody who's like, doesn't want blemishes on the sport or fights outside. Okay, I don't, it might be not a good idea. But in another stance, you think about, it's like, listen, you beat him already. Do you need to continue to say things that are out of line? You know, I don't know.
Listen, Dave said things about Dustin Poirier's family, and I know he's trying to get a fight because that's a good matchup for him. Like, but the point is this: you do that shit, you sell your soul, and you know there's a reason why he got like Verdum hitting him with a fucking boomerang. You know what I mean? Verdum, and there's a reason why guys. And listen, not for anything, this is not a sore loser situation. Look at why. I mean, now I'm going to say a guy who's pretty level-headed is Kamaru Usman.
Very, yeah.
He's a gentleman. Now, I don't know, why is he attacking him on a buffet line? I mean, because the guy goes too far. So when you go that far, expect this shit. Don't be surprised when somebody is going to look to attack you outside of the fucking thing. So outside.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Just expect it. I don't know. You're dealing with guys. Dude, I got into this sport before it was a fucking sport. Like, I mean, I was a fighter before there was ever MMA. Like, you either are or you aren't in that regard. And, you know, Masvidal is. So, you know, you take it that far, you know, shit happens. I don't know. Can't cry about it. Shit happens.
Yeah,
so,
if you're gonna be an athlete, then just be an athlete. You can still talk crap where it's one-on-one. You don't have to go and hit people as family, religion, stuff like that. It's just, it is crossing a line.
And there's some of the best people in this sport. There's so many great people. I'm not trying to say that all MMA fighters are psychopaths, but I am going to say some are. Or some are a little bit, you know, they
sure.
could, you know, have a head trigger. Or they could be, you know, this is more than just a sport for them. This is how they were. This is a way to channel their demons. How about that?
And thank God there's a sport to do that.
1738.
My oldest teacher, he's a fight fan. He watches the fights, and he brings up Paddy the Baddy. This man has never talked to me about a fighter other than myself the entire time that he's been my kid's teacher. He's asked like, hey, when you got a fight coming up? Oh, I happen to catch you on ESPN working the desk or whatever, but he's never brought up another fighter the entire time. And he brings up Paddy the Baddy. So like, that's kind of like my gauge. Like, oh, this guy's like definitely different. Like other people are noticing too. And he says,
on a side note,
good.
How many first graders do you think you could beat up at one time?
All of them.
That's what I said.
All of them. Yeah, there's not enough of them.
All of them. Well, I will fuck some first graders up.
Oh, the whole grade at the same time.
I hope they try that with me. Let's test it. Come on. I'm back, baby. Right. I'm back.
So he asked me about Paddy the Baddy. And he said, what makes him different? He was like, because I'm getting Conor McGregor vibes from him. And this was my answer. Paddy has a delusional belief in himself, just like Conor. There is no reason he should believe that he's that good. And there's no reason that Conor should have believed that he was that good or that he could do what he could do.
I don't know. Conor was like incredible on the feet, and he's still good, but he's missed a step. Paddy is doesn't have that, but he's got more well-rounded capabilities.
Right. But there's no reason he
is delusional. He is delusional in how good that he is, but he's backing it up.
But it works. I think sometimes you got to be a little bit. You got to believe it. You got to be a little bit crazy, and you got to believe it more than you're actually able to. Like
one might say it's the law of attraction. Another person might say it's the secret. A wise samurai once said you have to conceive, believe, and achieve. Do you know what I mean? But believe it or not, like even though I fucking mocked Luke on that one, there is a point to that. Do you know what I mean? You have to carry yourself in a certain way. You have to believe it. If you're not going to believe in yourself, then who the fuck else is going to believe in you? Do you know what I mean? And you have to have that confidence.
Could almost be a weapon. Like,
of course it can. And it breaks people down. It breaks their spirit. When they see how confident you are, they think, fuck, he's this confident for a reason.
Yeah. Like, what does he know that I don't know? Like, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? And I think that's it. I think Conor weaponized his delusional belief in himself. I think he believed in himself so much that it became like an actual weapon. And I think Paddy has some of that.
I look at it a couple different ways, John. There's a lot of people that say they would do something when you talk about their family and talk about their kids or do something to their family and their kids. And there's motherfuckers that will
people that will actually do it.
Yeah. And that's what the difference is. I mean, people will talk about it, and there's people that will do it. And so I think in this situation, it's a shit situation for George, because you just took yourself from being a draw. You know, I know you lost your last fight to Colby. I get it. I understand the frustration and all those things that come with it. But you think by doing 6 months in jail or 3 months in jail or paying a hefty fine, doing all those things, possibly community service, taking you away from your kids, is going to be worth it? You think your kids are going to care in 10 years? They're not going to care. They're not going to even know who the hell Colby Covington is. So when you get into these kind of things, it just takes time. Being in part of the fight business, you're still involved in it. I know that George has come up a different way than a lot of other people, you know. So that a lot of that has to do with it. But in this situation, I don't agree with what he did. Because there is a chance he may get slapped with some time for this. Because from what I read was that he was wearing a hoodie, he was wearing a mask, and he walked up from behind him. That's dangerous. Like, it's just dangerous, John. I mean, if he would have knocked him out like cold, and he hit his head on the concrete and died, or anything like that, split his head open, you'd be looking at something that it's just not worth it, man. You think your kids would care more that you beat up somebody that said something bad about them? Or do you think they'd care if they want their dad around? That's the difference. Like, you gotta start weighing those things out. I mean, words. I'm not gonna say too much about you touch my kids. That's a different lifestyle. That's my kids will remember that, you know. And so, but when they will remember the fact that you didn't do anything, you know. And this situation is different. Like, words.
Yeah. Nah. I don't know the circumstances of what really happened. I don't know if Masvidal did come up behind him and sucker punch. I don't know. All I know is it's not good. No. I know you can be upset with someone and what they say, and you know the whole thing of, like, you know, King of Miami gives a shit. You know, there is no King of Miami. I'm just telling you, it's not Colby and it's not Masvidal.